So now we are going to actually do a buyer's presentation.
Yay!
So you can see the words you should say or could say. Say whatever you want. I don't care. It's your business, not mine. But I want to show you, I'm going to try to pause as little as possible, but there's some things I want to point out to you about why I say these things and what is it doing behind the scenes. Because everybody talks about how do I show my value. The buyer's presentation is where you show your value. What happens if you don't do a buyer's presentation?
The value is not shown.
It's really hard to get people to pay you. They're gonna come up, hey, can you just give me unicorn fees because you like me? No, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do for you and how I'm gonna protect you. So again, I think another step is sometimes when we're new, we don't actually know how we help people. If you haven't actually done that many transactions, you don't see how tough it is, which will be the next part after this. Ebony, I'm gonna bring her up. Does anybody know Ebony Watts? This lady, can I just brag for a second? Yeah. Ebony, number one, has a full-time job, like a big girl job, like a real one. And at the beginning of this year, she just said, I'm gonna be an icon. I don't care. I'm doing what it takes. Ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing. How many transactions did you close last year?
5.
5 in all of 2023. How many are gonna close this year? 40. She's gonna close 40 transactions this year. She capped in how many transactions?
I believe it was 6.
6. She capped in 6 transactions. Yeah. Okay. So she's been working on the icon. How many clients are you working with right now?
About 16.
16 active clients. So can I just brag about Ebony for a second? So she's gonna talk. She's gonna be my role play partner right now. But after that, I'm gonna give examples. I'm just gonna give a few examples of clients recently and how much money we made them or saved them, so you guys can know how that works. She's gonna give examples of hers, and we're gonna start. That's the beginning of the conversation. We're gonna start collecting from our top producers because you guys have these stories, but you guys have massive value, and we want you guys to be able to articulate that because that is our job, is to communicate and manage projects, right? Okay, come sit down. All right, so buyer has called me somehow, text me, Facebook message, smoke signal, somehow we have gotten into contact. And then she calls me and says, I want to buy a house. I'm like, that's so great. Tell me about that. That initial conversation is short. 5 minutes to 10 minutes max. We do not sell on the phone. You're not going to sell them to work with you on the phone. The purpose of that call is to get an appointment. Tell me about that. Tell me, you want to see 123 Main? Tell me about that. Why do you like 123 Main Street?
Because it's close to shopping. I love to shop.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I'm single, and I feel that if I'm around that type of environment, I feel more protected. Safety is a big thing for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just like shopping.
Nice. I love that. Have you been looking at houses before? Have you seen any before?
Not really, just on Zillow.
Okay, so window shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Mm-hmm. And then has anybody talked to you about your purchasing power?
No. But I think that I can afford maybe $400,000 or something like that.
Yeah, cool, perfect. Mm-hmm. And then do you know how many beds, baths, what are you looking for in a house?
3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I want to be able to make an office and have enough space for when I go shopping.
And yeah, do you have a deadline, or are you leasing now, or what's your?
Oh my gosh, yes. So I was talking to a friend, and I really need to find a house ASAP because my lease is ending.
When?
Next month.
Oh, okay. We got it.
So I'm kind of in a time crunch.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
Are you going to be able to help me?
Heck yeah. This is my specialty. Okay, so honestly, the more we talk, the more I see it would make sense for us to get together. I want to talk to you how everything works from A to Z, purchasing a home in North Carolina, and then specifically in this market. And guess what? That script always works. Because isn't there always a specifically in this market? There's always specifically in this market. Because somebody can say, oh, I looked last year. Oh, yep, we're going to talk about specifically in this market. Oh, I bought a house 20 years ago. I know how it works. Great. I love that for us. So we're going to get together and talk about everything works from A to Z, purchasing a home in North Carolina, and then specifically in this market. So there's a few questions. There's rapport building. Listen to what they say. Try to get at least some timelines. And then I can see you tomorrow at 2, or would 4 work better?
Early as possible for me.
Okay. Actually, I could do 11. Is that good for you?
Awesome.
Yeah. Do you want to meet in person? Yeah, let's do it.
Yes, that's all you had to say.
So listen to what they're saying and say something that's important to them, right? Cool. So what's your email address? I want to send you a calendar invite.
Okay.
Whatever it is, yeah. And then I'm going to say, okay, amazing. As soon as we hang up, I'm going to text you so you have all my information. You have my email address. I'll send you a calendar invite, and I'll text you when I'm on the way.
Okay.
Sound good?
Awesome.
Perfect. How long was that call? 5 minutes. I took longer to explain to you guys than I did actually have the phone call. So how many appointments do you need to have per week? Depends on how many closings you want to have. 5 appointments set, probably cancel 2 if they're not motivated, go on 3, close 1. That should be if you're just starting. If you get better at this, you could either have less appointments and more closings, go get a massage, right? Get your time back, or you can scale. Either way, you're setting yourself up for 5 appointments, 3 in person, 1 closing. That's the listing percentages. Buyers are a little easier. Now, with buyers, if somebody signs a buyer's agency, are they less likely or more likely to close than a listing? Experienced agents. If I get a listing agreement versus a buyer's agreement, which one is more likely to close, the listing or the buyer?
The listing.
The listing, right? Because people don't just sign a listing agreement for fun, right? They're like, I need to sell my house. Buyers, lots of things can happen. Lose the job, can't qualify, that type of thing. So I don't want you to think I've got a buyer's agency, I'm 100% chance of closing. You're probably about 25% chance of closing with a buyer's agency. What's your chance of closing if you don't have a buyer's agency? 0. Real low. So the point is to get an appointment. Get an appointment and have that conversation face to face, because it's way better to now, can you do Zoom if they're virtual? Yeah, 100%. But Zoom is almost the same as in person these days, okay? So we're gonna show up at the coffee shop. I'm gonna text her when on the way. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm already here. What do you want? So I'm gonna get her order. Because what does that create? Reciprocity, right? We're gonna love a little bit of small talk, like a very little bit, because we're here to sell some houses, people.
You want to Starbucks?
Sure. Okay, and I'm gonna pull up my computer. We'll be facing each other. Okay. So I'm gonna say, okay, so I am gonna talk to you about so many things today. I do not want you to memorize this. Please don't memorize this.
Okay.
What am I doing? I'm calming her down. You can't listen if you're nervous. I don't need you to memorize this. What am I also doing? I already got this together. You can trust me. All the DISC personalities will love this. You know why? An analytical will be the only person who reads this. Are they the hardest people to convince? So prepare for the hardest, and then the easiest gets way easier, right? A driver's, I don't need to know this. I just need to know that you know this. Am I showing them that I know this? 100%. And I've got it in nice folders. I made this in 2020. I share it with you guys all the time. I've shared it with you guys probably about 75,000 times. It's the same folder, the same link I've used for 4 years. I just update the forms. And guess who has the current forms? Everybody who has the link. Yay, systems, woo! Okay, I'm gonna send you this when we leave from here. So if you ever just like really can't sleep and you wanna read every single word of every single form, God bless America. But I'm gonna go through it with you. Let me just show you, because some people are afraid to click the buttons. Let me just show you what it looks like, what's in here. And so I've broken it down into the 3 parts of the process. When we're starting, what do we have to do before we start? Then once we're looking and making offers, what to expect. And then now that we're under contract, what to expect. Because I want you to think of those as 3 different portions, right? So here we have the start here. And I've broken that into 2 pieces. One is sample documents. These are examples of some of the documents that you will probably see throughout the transaction. So again, feel free to look at these if you want to, but they're there for you just in case. FYI, North Carolina people, What are you required to give people? Yeah, what do you require on the offer to purchase the check or the buyer's agency has these people receive these things and
professional disclosure.
it's also questions and answers about home inspections.
Yes.
So because this is my system and I do it every single time, everybody gets it. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to remember it. That's what a system means. It automatically happens every single time because I follow the same process. And I can just ask somebody else to send the link, which is actually a template in my email. So I just hit template and then it goes, right? The faster you can make this, that you don't have to think about it, the easier it is to have 5 appointments a week. Because then all you're doing is, great, a 5-minute call, let's do a 1-hour meeting. 5-minute call, 1-hour meeting. 5-minute call, 1-hour meeting. So we're talking about 3.5 hours per week to close 1 transaction a week, which is 52 transactions a year, probably 48 with just the way things work, okay? Cool? Does that sound a little easier?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, home buying process, we're gonna go through some of this stuff. We're gonna go through the buyer's presentation, just explains the process A to Z that I talked about. There are 6 reasons to buy a home buying roadmap, real estate terminology, just because it's like new for you. But then this one I'm gonna have you tell me your favorite things so I can get you some cool closing gifts. Now here's what's important. Now when we're making offers, here's some things you need to know when we're making offers. I've got this for you, it's a house hunting checklist. That's great, because we're gonna start to see about 8,000 houses and they're gonna all blur together. So this one, there are certain things that I cannot discuss with you that are fair housing issues. I cannot talk to you about schools. I cannot talk to you about crime stats. I can't, but they're important to you. Then I wanna give you the links. This one here is our iMap, so you can actually click on this and you can find out the information about any property, all the deeds, everything is there. Then we have the FEMA flood maps, and we have a flight map. This is important in Raleigh, but it's just there. I haven't changed this at this point. I could probably add things to it, but at this point, it's there. So I'm saying I can't talk to you about these things. I'm saying that up front, but I've given you the resources. I got my life together. This one, I went to a training in 2019 about the future road projects in the 10-year plan for road development. So I just put it in there. You want to see, there's links. I don't go like through this very deeply for people. The most important thing that most people ask is, now we're under contract. What's happening under contract? That's the scary part, right? Mm-hmm. So I made this document. I actually made it for myself because my worst fear is dropping the ball. I made it for myself, but then I made it look pretty. Okay, so these are the steps for when we're under contract and what you can expect, because many of the things under contract I'm doing that you're not seeing. So I just wanted to show you, for example, due diligence is due on the day that we get the contract accepted. We're gonna send this information again. You don't memorize, it's fine. We're gonna send all the contracts to the lender, closing dates. Here's some information about inspections and some costs. Here's some people I recommend. What am I doing, CYA? Then we're gonna coordinate the inspections. We only show up for the last 30 minutes. We do not stay the whole time. It's in writing. We're gonna get the inspection back within 24 hours. I'm just gonna tell you it's gonna be like 50 pages. Don't freak out, it's totally fine. Don't freak out. So then we're gonna get estimates for everything to see what we need to ask for. Here's some information about surveys, so you can click on this and see the information about surveys. Any of the frequently asked questions that people ask me through transactions, it's here, okay? So then we're gonna do like negotiations. We wanna wait till we have all the information available to know where we need to use our negotiating power. Do I need to negotiate appraisals? Do I need to negotiate repairs? What is it gonna look like? Because usually there's like a limit. We don't wanna keep on asking and then we really need something else and then we don't get what we need. And then earnest money period is basically just finalizing your mortgage. It's pretty simple. So I will go over this with you all, like over and over, so I don't need you to memorize that. Let's just talk about the process from A to Z, okay? All right. So this is me. Great hair day this day. But I got my license to be an investor, okay? My dad's a general contractor and both my brothers are general contractors. We own an HVAC company. I was a chief operating officer of a tech company. I'm like, cool, it's time for me to start investing. I'm gonna use my salary, get my license, find stuff on the MLS. Then I realized I could take my dream of building wealth for myself and help buyers and sellers, and I'm like, I'm in, right? So did that went full time about 2020, sold about 100 houses since then, love it, moving forward. That's all I say. Bye. I don't want to talk about me, because what do I want to talk about? The benefits of home ownership. So, and some people you don't need to say all this. Some people you do, but it's there in case you do. So one of the things I love, again, this is my passion, is building generational wealth. The pride of ownership. I remember when we bought our house and we went into the house and we're like, is this real? Just don't know that feeling until you have it. And I just love helping people have that feeling. Equity, wealth building, tax deductions, and you can control your costs. So we love home ownership. So that's all. I don't want to talk about me. Let's talk about you.
Okay.
Yeah, you like that part? Okay, cool. So my team calls hundreds of buyers looking for sellers and hundreds of sellers looking for buyers every single week. We don't just wait till stuff goes on the MLS. So we're going to be proactively looking for you because the best deal that you're going to get is obviously going to be off market, right? So I really want to dive deep into what you're looking for and like how we can maybe be creative, because we know we're not going to get 100% of what we want. Do you see I said it there? I'm setting expectations. I know we're not going to get 100%. If we're doing 80%, we're really, unless you're custom building, we can do. We want to think of this as a financial decision. Is this going to make me money while I live here? Location-wise, you already mentioned you want to be near shopping. What is the distance? Like how far?
I want to be walking distance, but I love to shop, so...
Could that be dangerous, actually?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I don't want someone to see me with my bags or anything, and then...
Okay, so you don't need to walk.
I don't
You
need
got
to
a
walk.
car. You just want to walk.
Yes.
So what is the acceptable distance in minutes?
10 minutes is cool.
Okay,
10
and is
or
there
15
any
minutes.
particular shopping center that you want to stay around?
No, just as long as I'm able to shop.
Okay. All right, what's your favorite store?
Ooh. Nordstrom.
So price-wise, you had said 400. Is that, tell me where you got that number from.
I just put it out there. I don't really know.
Okay.
That's just been my budget on Zillow.
Yeah, that's when you're seeing houses in that price point, you like it, or is that what you saw on like a mortgage calculator?
No, I saw the houses and I liked them.
Okay,
at that
those are the
price
ones you
point.
like. Okay, gotcha. Monthly payment-wise, what's comfortable in monthly payment-wise?
Maybe around... Yeah, I would love to stay at 1,200, but that's probably not realistic for that. I don't know. No? Okay, I can go a little higher.
I would
just
like
won't
to
be able
also go to the moon, but some things are just not possible.
I just won't be able to shop as much if I go up, but it's okay.
What's like the max? Like you feel, oh my God, that's like my max.
2,100.
Okay, cool. So like obviously we don't want to spend 21 if we don't have to.
Right.
If we can get it lower, we're going to get it lower.
Yes.
I just want to know area wise. And a lot of that's going to really depend on several things.
Okay.
We're going to talk a little bit later what payments are included, okay? Square footage of the house. Do you know about how big that you want the house to be?
At least about 1,500.
1,500? Okay. Lot size, do you care? Because you're talking about living near shopping, so it could be, are you open to a condo in a townhouse?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut my own grass. I don't want to do any of those things.
So she wants you see when I listened to what she said and I asked her questions specifically about what she wanted, then she knows I'm listening to her, right? So you don't want a single family. We can just avoid that, or do you want to just check and see what's out there?
Check and see what's out there, but I'm still more so like a condo type person for right now.
Yeah. Could it be a place that's single family but has lawn maintenance included?
Yes.
You see how I just came up with a solution for her? I kept on asking questions. I'm diving deeper. I'm really understanding her, right? So what about bedrooms and bath? You mentioned 3 and 2. 3 was really so you could have an office. So if it has a separate office space and it's 2 bedrooms, you're okay with that?
Yes. Yes.
Listening. Okay. So garage. Do you need a garage?
Absolutely.
But is it a deal breaker though?
Yes.
Okay. Garage is deal breaker. HOA. What do you know about HOAs? How do you feel about HOAs?
Do I pay that every month?
You do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they expensive? What do they cover?
It depends, right? They're all different. You're going to find that most things in real estate, the answer is it depends. You want to think of HOAs for a condo and townhouse as almost like a forced savings account. You don't like that idea, I know. But that's why it forces you, because that money goes towards somebody taking care of the outside of the house. If you didn't have that forced account, you'd still have to pay it. Do you understand? They would just come out of your account, and then you might struggle. So,
so that's the extra cost of
like
taking
the
care of
roof
the
and
lawn.
everything.
Oh, okay. Count me in. It's okay.
Yeah, you're like, I'll pay for everything. I'm good with that. Okay. So sometimes I have people say, oh, I don't want an HOA. I hate HOAs. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, tell me about that. Why don't you like HOAs? Oh, they tell me what to do. Okay. No, I'm gonna tell you, my HOA is $17 per month, and all they do is make sure that we mow our lawn. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Or they're like, no, I don't want any HOA. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say about this. Let me just explain. Let's say, I know moving into this house, we're thinking one thing, but I'm always thinking of your best interest. Do you see what I did there? What I'm thinking of is when you go to sell this house. And let's say that you do all the updates and all the upgrades in your house is beautiful, but the neighbor has like junk in his yard. Is that going to affect your resale value?
Yeah.
Don't you wish there was somebody who could make them clean up the junk in their yard?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's what I think maybe, you tell me if I'm wrong, maybe you'd be okay with an HOA as long as it wasn't too restrictive.
Yes.
Could we
I'll be
say
okay.
that?
Yes.
You see how I've just expanded her mind to what's possible? Because I don't want her to have these unrealistic expectations. We're not gonna see houses that don't fit, but I'm also gonna open your mind to things that are possible. Taxes vary greatly, city, county, state. Prices are lower where taxes are lower, obviously, so that's for the country, but you're not really into that lifestyle so much, okay. Any style of house that you like, or you just don't care? It's more about the shopping.
I've been seeing like, I remember seeing something, it was like 3 stories. It was
Oh, you
like
do like the
really
3 stories.
cute.
Okay, so you like, because some of the townhouses, you guys know, are the 3 stories. Some people are like, I don't want those. Some people are like, I really like those. Cool, because those usually have the garage in the back. That way it's like hidden, and then it has a room down there. Okay, got it. Okay, so what about specific features? Anything in the kitchen that's, I have to have this? Do you care about a gas stove, or does it matter? What matters to you?
Doesn't matter. I'm not really a cooker.
A cooker. As long as it has a microwave. A cooker. The fact that you call it a cooker means you're not. So no, you want to come to Thanksgiving at my house, is what you're saying. Anything in the bath? Do you want the rain shower, or do you want like tubs or no tubs? Is that deal breaker, or?
So I would like both, even though I'm more like a shower person,
Yeah.
but I love the option of having a tub.
So it's important, but not like deal breaker important.
Correct.
Okay, cool. And then neighborhood, do you want a pool? Do you want like parks? Do you have any pets? Does that matter to you?
No pets for me.
Okay. Do you want a pool, or do you don't care?
No pool. I hide in the heat.
Yeah, I feel you. So turnkey versus fixer-upper. Now, if I've gotten to this point in the conversation, I don't know the answer to these questions. I'm not listening to her. So do you want something that you can walk in, it's ready right now, or do you want to put some elbow grease into it?
No, it has to be move-in ready.
Yeah. You like new construction?
Yes.
Yeah, I love
Yes.
it. Okay?
Yes.
So I was going to ask age of home, too. Now, I know that we want it turnkey, but if it was built in the 70s but recently renovated and has all the stuff, are we good with that?
No.
No? Tell me why.
No. Probably has some issues with the floors. I don't know. Probably has some leaks and stuff going on. I don't want to entertain that.
Yeah,
type
you're
of
just
stuff.
not into that at all.
I'm not into that. I just want to be able to move in and shop. That's it.
What's the oldest that you'd consider?
2024.
Definitive.
It's gonna be real easy. Okay, and then the distance to groceries, which we know that you're bougie. She's not a cooker. She don't need groceries, actually. But I would ask people, like, are you Instacart people? Do you need to be close? Or do you really want the country? How do you live? I had a client, I want to fix her up. I'm like, so who's doing the lawn and who is fixing the house?
Yeah.
Do you have those skills? Do you have people who have those skills? Maybe that's a future project. So we got new construction in 2 weeks and we're under contract. So you have to listen to not just what they say, but what they mean. Because sometimes they, especially buyers, they don't know quite what they want. They haven't seen as much as you have. But that's why you guys have to know the inventory, and you have to go see houses. So if you don't have clients, you should be doing property previews in neighborhoods that you like and want to specialize in, right? Okay, cool. So let's talk about the process. It's 8 steps. There are some that are pretty scary, but I'm going to be here to walk you through it. It's totally fine. I got you. So first step, meet with an agent. Done.
Yes.
Yeah, BFFs, got it, okay. So number 2, we're gonna get pre-approved, okay? Because we don't know what the payments will look like, and there's a lot of things that go into a payment. What I would hate is for you to find something that you love and then, I'm not here to break your heart, right? I'm here to be your champion. I want you to be like, yes, that's my thing, we're in. I want us to find the perfect one. So we're gonna get pre-approved. Do you have a lender, or do you want me to send you some people?
No.
Okay, I got you, baby. All right, then we're gonna set up a home search. Now, once you're pre-approved and we have the numbers, your lender's gonna give me what's called a good faith estimate. If you don't know this, you guys need to write this down. Your lender's gonna give me what's called a good faith estimate. They might have a different name for it now. Basically, that lender doesn't have a property. So they're just estimating the parts of the loan that make up your payment. Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and then they have to take into consideration HOA. If they don't know the property, they're just gonna give us the numbers that they think. I need to look at that. We need to look at that, because if it says HOA is $250 a month and this HOA is 0, that means your monthly payment is $250 less per month, which means you can get more house. So these are things that we're gonna look at per property, so we need to know what we're working with. This is a partnership. We're doing this together, okay? So we have to have those numbers, we have to know what we're doing. Once we have that, we've looked at things together, and we're actually gonna look at several lenders. We don't just do one, okay? It's the one type of shopping that they actually encourage you to look for more than one lender. It's actually financially responsible to get several quotes, because sometimes you can see someone, oh, my monthly payment is this, but they're charging you like so many points and you're gonna increase your closing costs because you're paying $16,000 in points. We're gonna look at it together, okay? Then we're gonna find the best one that works for your situation. Then we'll figure out where we're gonna go, and then we're gonna set up a search. We are gonna get together on Zoom or in person. I'm gonna show you my screen. We're gonna look at these together. And I want you to see for the first time, what am I seeing? I'm not showing you things. I'm gonna show you what the MLS looks like. I'm gonna show you what the disclosures look like, things that we're gonna be learning about when we're making offers, so that when we're ready to go, boom, we're ready. And it's not like I have to explain that when we're like in the heat of the moment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Once we have that set up, then we're gonna set up showings. When you're telling me homes that you're looking for, I'm gonna need you to drive those areas first. Because there's things that I can't talk to you about that you need to know. I don't know what's acceptable for you. I don't know if you drive to an area and you like that. I can't comment on that, right? So we might knock some out. Then we're going to the ones that we like, we're in, right? Okay.
Awesome.
Then if we find the house that we're looking, when we find the house that we're looking for, then we're gonna make offers, but we don't just do this willy-nilly, okay? No. Before we make offers, we have to go home and do some research, because there are some very scary things about the law in North Carolina. When a seller accepts an offer, they can't back out unless it's like buyer breaches contract or act of God. Because they can't back out, they also don't have to do anything. I know. They don't have to fix any problems with the house if you find stuff in the inspection. Nope. They do not have to come down on the appraisal if it doesn't appraise. Nope. So these are things that we need to know before we write the offer. I know I'm wearing sparkles today, but we will be looking in the crawl space. I can get in the crawl space with sparkles on, okay? Because general contractor background, right? So I'm not a general contractor. But I'm not looking at the curtains and wallpaper. You can look at the curtains and wallpaper, but if you look at me, I'm gonna be looking up, looking down, looking around. I wanna protect you. I wanna see, do I see cracks? New construction, you would think new construction is like perfect. It's not. It's definitely not. So we're still doing inspections for new construction. And if we're lucky to get it before it's even built, we're gonna do inspections before the walls are even up, because we found a lot of issues in those areas, okay? So we're gonna be looking at all that stuff while we're there. We're gonna go home and look at disclosures and see what the seller has disclosed. They have to fill out these forms. They don't actually have to say anything. So sometimes they say no representation. That still sends us a signal.
Yes.
So these are things that we're talking about. I need you to be comfortable that if we close at this price, I'm happy with it before we even make an offer. Right. Then just because they aren't gonna do anything, that doesn't mean we're not gonna ask. Right. And I'm real good at it, really good. We need to be prepared. Obviously, there's gonna be some properties that have a little bit more wiggle room. It depends on the motivation of the seller. There's a lot of things that go into this that we have to really understand on a case by case, but that's what you have before. Because when you write that offer, we go into what's called a due diligence period to do our inspections and appraisals. You have to put down a due diligence amount that is non-refundable if you wanna walk away. Now, you can walk away all the way to the closing table. But if you walk away, you're not gonna get that money back. So my job is to protect you before you make the offer as much as possible. I'm trying to protect your money as much as possible. Okay. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So then we're in a contract, we do inspections, we have an appraisal come out, which we're gonna pull comps beforehand to see how close we think we're gonna get to appraisal to make sure we're good. And then we're gonna negotiate whatever we need to negotiate. And again, really good at this. Once we negotiate, then we are in the last period of the contract, earnest money period. And that is where we just finalize our mortgage. The mortgage people are going to keep on asking you for questions. We'll keep you on track with that.
Okay.
And then just set up utilities, and then we have closing. Take pictures, great closing gifts. That's what we're all trying to get to. So does that make sense? A little bit how that works? Is it a little scary?
Yes, it's a little scary.
Yeah. But that's okay, because I got you.
Okay.
I'm here. We're good.
Okay.
But it's a constant communication. It's constant relationship with your lender, making sure everything is going the way it needs to go. But that's what you have us for. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Pre-approval, I just want to talk a little bit about pre-approval. A lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about what is included in a mortgage.
Are they gonna run my credit like 1,000 times?
It depends on who you're good. The one person won't run your credit 1,000 times. We're gonna try and look at different places. The cool thing about running credit for mortgage, as long as it's within a short time span,
Okay.
they will run your credit, but it won't hit you every time the same way that a credit card run will. This is not like that, okay? Because you need your credit cards for shopping. Is that what you're,
Yes.
Yeah, we want to get the best rates possible. There's another thing too, that based on what you may need to actually close, we may need to ask the seller to pay for some things. I won't know that until you get pre-approved, because that's going to be based on your personal situation. The things they're looking for is your monthly income, not your yearly income.
Okay.
Monthly. Your mortgage credit score, which only a lender can know. It's not on Credit Karma. It's a very specific score. Your debt to income ratio monthly.
Equifax doesn't count?
It's a consumer side, but it's not, doesn't look the same for mortgage scores.
Gotcha.
Car insurance scores, they have different scores, they have different things they look for. So they look at what is your total monthly income, gross, and then what is your total debt service per month. You can have a credit card that you owe $1 million on, but if your monthly payment is $5, they're looking at $5. So a lot of people come and say, I'm going to pay off my credit cards first. That may not be the best option, because if you have a car payment where your payment's $500, but you only have 2 months left, they're still going to count it as $500. So maybe we should pay off the car and not the credit cards, but those things we won't know until we talk to a lender. So do you see how it's important to talk to a lender and get the deals?
Okay.
Yeah, and then they're gonna look for, do you have the down payment amount? The down payment is made based off the type of loan. So there's lots of different types of loans. You can go anywhere from 0% down to 3.5, 3%, 5, 10. It just depends on the loan type.
Okay.
And then you have closing costs. Closing costs include the different things on top of the loan down payment. Closing costs being like prepaid interest and the attorney's fees, the part that you pay for our commission, all that stuff is included in your closing costs. You guys see I just threw that in? That's why we were doing this first. We got to know the money situation, right? Okay. And then do you have like savings for reserves that they're looking for? So we're going to talk to your mortgage person about this. Don't worry.
Okay.
So the last thing that you really need to understand is how much money do I have to have through this process? That's the scary part, right? So there's a term called cash to close. Cash to close is the total of everything that you owe, which is down payment plus closing cost, minus anything that you pay for due diligence. So you do get credit for that at closing.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not gone. You just lose it if you walk away. But if you stay, you get credit for it. Goes towards these total costs.
Okay.
Any credits for the due diligence and earnest money, the prepaid appraisals, and then that's your total cash to close. And then whatever I get the seller to pay for, that's going to come off of what you owe as well. So that's why you need a negotiator who knows how to make sure you're protected. Okay. So your monthly payment, remember, includes your principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and then your HOA amount. It's not in your monthly payment, but you have to be considered. There are some specific terms to note. These are from the North Carolina Real Estate Commission, just so you can have these and look at them later. But do you have any questions about that so far? Do you feel a little scared?
Yes.
Yes, that's all right. I'd rather you be a little scared.
Okay.
Because it's a big deal.
Yeah.
For buying a house. But that's why we go back to what's the benefits of homeownership. Because here's the thing, you're going to be paying this money per month anyways to rent. And you're just throwing it away. Because how much are you paying for rent right now?
18.
Let's just say 2,000 because the math's easier, okay? 2,000 times 12 is $24,000 per year. Do you think of it that way? You are literally throwing away $25,000 per year because that money never comes back to you.
That's your purse.
We are all playing Monopoly here.
Yes.
You are either winning this game or losing it. And if you're renting, you're losing it. Yes. And on top of the money that you're throwing away on rent that you never get back, you're losing the opportunity because next year that house will be worth another 10%, 5 to 10%. So you've lost the opportunity to earn money just by living there.
Wow.
So I know that this is very scary. So I'm bringing her back down. I scared her a little bit, but I'm here gonna protect you. I'm bringing her back. She was excited. Now we got to get back excited again, right? So does that make sense? Is a good financial decision for you to make now, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're just going to figure it out.
Yes.
It's going to be
Okay.
fun. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay, so there's a couple of, any other questions besides that?
Are you gonna save me some money? I think I need quite a bit. Okay. You came highly recommended. Okay. Okay.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Okay.
Remember, my job as your buyer's agent, which is why you pay me, okay, is because my job is to protect you.
Okay.
If someone else was paying me, and I'll still ask the seller to help us pay that. That's part of what I do. My job is to protect your pocket. We have something called a fiduciary responsibility.
Okay.
My literal job is to protect your money. That is what that means, and I'm really good at it. I take on people that I really think that I can help.
Okay.
And like I said, on average.
So you think you can help me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
On average, like I said, we usually get at least $5,000. And then I would have a book of examples that I was telling you about. And I'm going to show you these people. I just got this person $30,000 off of the purchase price. I got this person, and they got repairs.
Wow.
We got this person $20,000 and $10,000 in credits. But you have to listen to what I'm saying. If it's the first weekend on the market, probably not going to have as much power. Okay, that's why I was asking you all these questions. Like, how can we be creative to get you the best deal possible? Which is why we're calling hundreds of people a week to find off market, because then we're not going to have as much competition.
Awesome.
Does that make sense? So we've got the team, we've got the experience, so this is our next steps from here. What I'm going to do, and now in this new environment, I will bring the working with real estate agents, the buyer's agency with me physically. I'm going to send you an email with everything that you've seen today. You don't have to memorize this. This right here is a working with real estate agents in North Carolina. It's required as a disclosure to protect you. It's a consumer protection document that shows you all of the ways that real estate agents can have relationships with buyers. So this one just says that I explain those things to you, and I will very briefly explain. I will be your designated agent, okay? Then this is a buyer's agency form. This one says, this is my relationship to you. This is my responsibilities to you. This is what you pay for our services, which is whatever number it's going to be. But it says here that we're going to attempt to have the other side contribute to this, okay? But at the end of the day, it's all negotiable. This is all stuff that we try and work through. It's part of the terms of the offer to purchase.
Okay.
That's all I say. She's okay, move on. This is how it works, right? They're fine with it because I've just shown her massive value, and I'm probably going to save her more money than she's even going to pay me. For the most part, that's what happens. Then let's send you to the lender, you're gonna get your pre-approval, remember? Then we're gonna set up the home search, we'll do it together. But we'll be talking all the time. We're gonna view the homes, write the offers, do that research I was telling you about, and then we're under contract, and then we close. Make sense? I know it's a lot.
Yes.
I would usually take more time, but we're trying to rush because we're late here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Sign the paperwork. And that was quick, and I was explaining stuff to you, but really it should take you 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I'm preparing her for how this is gonna work in the future. What buyers want from their agents is to protect them and to advise them. This is a financial decision. Even if it's a $150,000 house, it's $150,000, right? You need to protect their money, and that's the only thing people are afraid about. Money. That's the only thing people are afraid of, is losing money. Buyers and sellers, that's it. So you gotta be able to talk about money. You have to talk about lending. You need to know how much money is in their pocket, because if you have those conversations, they're never gonna talk to anybody else. They're gonna be like, this is the one. Does that make sense? Is that helpful to see an actual presentation of how that goes? Yes. I am gonna send it out to everybody who registered today, but you can rip off and duplicate, feel free, and make your own folders. Last thing, we want Ebony to talk about a couple of her transactions that she has recently done, where by giving proper guidance, she's been able to really make a difference.
Okay, so first I want to say that our jobs are not easy. This is hard. I'm not going to lie to you. Just yesterday, I remember texting Charity, and I told her, what did I say? I said, I want to quit. I'm done with real estate. But that was honestly that was me being dramatic, and she responded to me like, okay, it's just a day. But for me, I am a hard charger. I like to do, right? When I'm not doing, I am literally like sad. Like I want to work. I want to meet with clients. I want to be out and about. And when I'm not, it's a problem. When I'm not, I'm dramatic. Like I'm done. I want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. But that's just go shopping. I know. So I want to talk to you about a few transactions that I've had. For one of the transactions, I was on the listing side. And whenever I get listings, I am like over the moon. I'm overjoyed. I'm extra. But when I do listings, I look at the numbers over and over again before I present anything. I'm very careful in that regard. So when I'm trying to do comps, I am pulling from everywhere trying to get the right number. Even though, no, I'm not an appraiser, but I'm going to try my best to give them the correct number. In this particular case, I think we were going to list for about 260, right? So I got all the information that I needed. I ordered photos and measurements. Right? So I already had an idea of how, like, as far as the square footage and everything. So when I got the photos and the measurements back, I'm reviewing everything. I don't just, oh, we're going live, right? I'm reviewing every single thing. So when I ended up getting the measurements back, we were off by a lot, right? So I called the client immediately and I was like, hey, I need you to pull up your appraisal report because I also helped her purchase this home. So I said, hey, I need you to pull up the appraisal report and tell me what the square footage was. My client, she's a hard charger as well. So she was like, okay, give me a few minutes. And she gave me the number and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, we can't go live right now. But I'll tell you why as soon as I can get to my computer, as soon as I can get to my phone. We ended up listing for, I think, 275, 280, something like that. I ended up saving my client about $20,000 because I was just that careful. I was paying attention to the numbers. Because on the flip side, I am a little bit of a numbers person enough where I know, okay, something is not right, something is off. So we ended up getting offers the first weekend. We got an offer, I think 10K over. And what's crazy is we ended up terminating, right?
Let's tell what we did. We went back and negotiated.
We went back, yes.
Due diligence.
Yes.
Because they didn't want to give due diligence.
Yes. So we ended up doing that. We got right back under contract and we ended up closing. And I ended up being such the shero. And I think I ended up calling Eric too, because it just blew me the price difference. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, we were going to list for this much, but now we can list for this much. This can't be. Oh my gosh, I'm just tripping right now. But it really was. And we ended up getting what she wanted for the house.
Plus the extra $5,000 from the initial due diligence.
From the initial
due diligence. So because we
diligence.
protected her by getting a higher due diligence, we went back to negotiate.
Yes.
Then she kept that. And that is the purpose of due diligence for sellers, because buyers can back out. If they are not putting any due diligence down, there's no skin in the game.
Correct.
Yeah, so she got that money plus the money. So she ended up making $30,000, $40,000 more than she thought she was going to make initially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was one shero moment.
Yep.
Yes. And then